Okay, so when you're growing your little trees from seed and your stem turns red, these are pears. Means it's going to die. Apparently there's something in the soil here that's eating the roots on me. If you look into my pot on the other side, the stem is nice and green and it is a healthy little tree coming out. Now the mango tree hasn't done much in growing since it got its leaves. However, if you look really closely here up at the top, you'll notice I'm getting another set of leaves coming out. Now, when a mango starts growing out of its pit, this is the first thing that you're going to see coming out of the dirt. They're not a small plant. Their seeds aren't even small. So when they're germinating, they're not going to be tiny like most other plants. Now if you look very carefully here, I have another one that's doing the same thing. Now these are honey mangoes, these two pits that I just showed you. However, this is a red mango. So once the honey mangoes come up, I'll be able to compare how they grow for you. The honey mango pits are a lot smaller than the red mangoes. Their fruit is a lot sweeter. I'm simply hoping that there won't be that much of a difference. Now, I chopped off the top of my mulberry tree, trying to root it over here. That's why you see the little wiltiness. However, I already have new growth coming off of where I trimmed it. Not just there, but there as well. And before this branch turns woody, I gotta get the wires and bend it off to the side. I'm trying to get the mulberry to grow so that the branches go out to the side instead of up, so that when it gets bigger, I will have a better chance of gathering the berries off of it. I have already had this tree for 3 years, and not one berry has come of it. I've implemented wires, which is something I found out when I was looking up bonsai and training the branches. Once they turn woody, taking the wire off, they're going to stay in that position and continue growing that way. Now when a branch turns woody, as you can see here, that one is kind of brown already, but this one is a little green. Down here, these are most definitely brown, and as you come up, they turn green. The green is a branch that's not turned to woody yet. It's still soft, malleable, and you can train it. So if you don't want to prune the living daylights out of your tree, you can take a small tree, wrapping wire gently around the branches, and bend it carefully in the direction you want it to grow. This way, you know that the branches are going to be where you want them. I would still suggest trimming it to thicken up the rest of the plant and to promote more growth from coming off of the existing areas. And if you can see, the dragon fruit is growing prolifically. Yes, I have tomatoes growing inside. I don't expect much of them. In fact, I've trimmed one up to show you. They were from the same tomato. Seeds were planted at the same time. I trimmed the top off of one of them to show you how much thicker the rest of the stem will get. I've also put dirt, if I can move my pepper, dirt over some of the roots, or over some of the stems, so that I could show you how it'll create more roots. I'll give you an update on that later. Now on to the jackfruit. This pot is the pot where the second seed came up. And it is growing ever so prolifically. If you move my tangerine, you can see the stem right there. And you can see in contrast, the one in the background isn't doing as well. And it's the first one that came up. So I don't know if it's deformed or if it's a bad seed. However, the jackfruit are growing quite quickly. I also have 3 lemon seedlings over here and 1 over there. And I wound up having to trim a large branch off of my tangerine tree. And I was not happy about that. And as a comparison, over on the other side of my olive tree, this is the nectarine tree that we grew. Now it's getting branches to come off of the side, however, it is about the same size as the jackfruit and about a month older. That tree stump right there, when I was growing up, used to be this enormous, beautiful berry tree with the most delicious berries on it. And I want to call it a mulberry or a boysenberry because they are some sort of blackberry. And I have not found a berry anywhere that compares in the flavor.
New shoes? I have the new shoes, but unfortunately my station license is this and I only get my 1 secret at a time right now.
That is a new potato coming up. It's much darker and healthier looking than the rest.